Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Dukect here. Well, live. Well, it is live, everyone, here on the Dukect Lounge. How are y'all doing this great evening? And we have tons of interesting stuff here in the world of wrestling. Post WrestleMania, oh boy, what a interesting WrestleMania it is. You know, WrestleMania was a interesting event. I think it was a lot better than last year's. It felt a lot more. What is going to be the the whole what's going to happen, the consequences and such of WrestleMania. I'll get more in depth with the review because WrestleMania, like I said, was a fine show. There was some stuff I liked, some stuff I didn't like, and some stuff that really just bothered me and perplexed me because I expect things would be as small, but then it wasn't. Like, for example, honestly, I have to say this was probably up there for the worst match of the night. Seth Rollins versus Triple H. The long, boring, trying to be so hard to be the NWA type of match with Ric Flair, which was bad. I mean, holy crap. Like I said, WrestleMania was so big, so important, and there was so much good things, bad things, but the one thing I did, well, like I said, Seth Rollins, Triple H, long Triple H and NWA match, terrible. I love the fact how Seth Rollins was still doing all these aerial dives, even though his knee was still screwed up. Also, it was a non-sanctioned match, and they still had these grand entrances. And also, I love the fact there was no Samoa Joe or anything that were advertised. No smalls. I expected a smalls. A real fight. I wanted a real fight. Instead, I didn't get that. I got okay. Just there was no real fight. I didn't feel that it was like Seth Rollins still. I mean, if Seth Rollins was so smart, if he was the architect, the man was so smart. Riddle me this, Batman. Why did he kept doing aerial moves? Why couldn't he be like, you know what, this is gonna make me less effective? You know what, the best thing I could do is not use this type of aerial attacks. I gotta use more ground pound. I have to out wrestle the game, which been a better story. And since this is not a sanctioned match, I mean, everything goes. Throw a little bit of weapons, doing everything else like that. Prove that he could be a lot smarter than Triple H. That would have been a better story. You have Samoa Joe. He outwits Samoa Joe and all these type of things. That sort of thing. It would have been a good story. Seth Rollins rises up, takes down Samoa Joe. You have, outsmart the game and everything else. Samoa Joe goes to a table and all this type of stuff. And, and he wins with the God's last gift or something. Instead of having the pedigree, he ends it with God's last gift. No. He sets up the pedigree as a setup move, and he says, no, I'm not doing that. I'm my own man. Does God's last gift on Hunter to extenuate that point. And then, boom. It proves that it's a lot shorter. Keep the match a lot shorter. The only long match of the card honestly should have been Taker and Reigns, but even then that wasn't really that. Shouldn't have been that long. I mean, personally, 15 minutes would have been a lot better. But that's just my personal opinion. Could be wrong. But overall, WrestleMania was a fun little show. Fun. But also, what was fun, heck, you had the Hardys. Looks like the Broken Hardys might not be the Hardys might not be broken. Who knows? But anyway, it was a fun ride with that. Anyway, Monday Night Raw. Wow, what a show. Woo-hoo. Oh, boy. They let Roman have it. After they did a thank you Taker. It was nice, classy for like 10, 15 minutes. Then they went to Roman Sucks. Roman came out, booed out of the building. Just completely booed. Woo, boy. A very, people were like going after Roman. And he said one word, says, "It's my yard now," drops the mic and leaves, which was effective. And he got the crowd all up there. Really got the crowd emotionally engaged. Which is, at the end of the day, is important, how you sell these type of things. And the show was pretty good overall, pretty decent. But then you look at what the ratings have, according to PW Insider. Links in the description as well, if you look at this. It is the fourth, the Monday Night Raw afterwards. Good news. It was to get over 3,700,000 viewers. Up from last week's viewers for 3,292,000. But then they were down, though, last year. That show did 4 million viewers. Down 300,000. And it's interesting. When you look at all these ratings, what is consistency? They all go down. I really do like how PW Insider put all these type of things here. So, by the way, just to make sure I have ad block, I don't want your ads to be completely destroyed, your computer and such. So get ad block and put that stuff on there because again, blocks all the ads. Ads are like $2.90 at this point. Jeez Louise. Ugh. I wouldn't block the ads if the ads wasn't filled with malware and all the other stuff to slow my computer down. So that's just stinks. So, yeah. So again, would you go PW Insider? Put that ad block up. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're going to go get the Elite, which is a dick move. But hey, you know what? Got my ad blocking on. But anyway, you look at the numbers. You see the numbers here. 3 million. Let's see. The average audiences. It was it went up to 3 millions and then when you see Raw was 4 million. Yeah, 4,904,000. That was the average audience of the 3-hour Raw. It just keeps going dip down, then 2 million. Then it kept going lower, higher. Bland Smith's first show, 3 million, then 2 millions, 3 million, 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, well, 2 million, 2 million. Exactly. Over August and then September. October, 2 million, got 3 million in October, 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, 3 million. Man, the show just has a fluctuate from 3 million to 2 million. It's interesting how that is. Really, really interesting how that stuff is. Link in the description, how the ratings have gone down year after year. And at this point, I say this, Raw should be 2 hours, but WWE ain't going to do that. They're not going to do that. And it's funny. It is, to me, hilarious. It is hilarious. Hilarious. That it's hilarious that people will say Raw needs all this rating, all this stuff, like Raw's these smart guys. No, it's not. Look who was champion, who was featured on those Raws. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, all those guys, and I like Roman Reigns, but he's I think hopefully with this win and Undertaker to actually do something in the right direction with him, I think it'd be interesting. This is the most interesting I've been in Roman Reigns in quite a while. My hope is that they start actually building some foundations, not just throwing everything in the Roman Reigns basket, which is a bad thing. He should be a pillar, an important pillar, but everyone else in the show must have these pillars. And quite honestly, Monday Night Raw doesn't have those type of pillars there anymore. They just put all these things in. This guy's our main talent, and everything else, the chips falls where they may. I'm hopeful in the next couple of couple of years they will change that. Hopefully they're starting to change that. We have Finn Balor returning. I'm hopeful that they will not rush him back to being the main event because I think that was a bad decision. I don't think Finn Balor should be in the main event of the Monday Night Raw. He should not be there. I think part of me think he should be in the Cruiserweight division. I know that will probably piss people off, but I think honestly Finn Balor, it's funny how people say Cruiserweights need credibility. Finn Balor is credibility. He's right there. He's only 190 pounds. Why isn't he fighting in the Cruiserweight division? It shows it's like, wow, that means only, losers and jobbers hang out in the cruiserweight division. Neville, for all he has, is just basically, at best, he's the king of the cruiserweights, a lowly rated show on 205 Live on the WWE Network, which basically has little to nobody watching the show via on WWE Network and on the live arena. Seriously, it's blacked out like there's no one there. Plus, I know that it's aired after SmackDown and people are leaving, but yeah, that doesn't help your product. Personally, I would do something, honestly, I would not do a 205 Live. Why don't you just do the stuff, Raw is 3 hours. Shouldn't that, honestly, in a more logical sense, make the show, I don't know, more time for wrestlers? More time to actually have cruiserweights do things on Raw? But no, they don't have that. They can't do that for whatever reason. Maybe if they stop doing the stupid purple ropes and try to remind people of the Cruiserweight Classic, an event that I like, most people did, and they really did like it. And, people say, oh, they love these tournaments and such. At the end of the day, that did not actually draw higher ratings for the WWE Network. It actually, again, it's at a stagnated or actually lost subscribers for the WWE Network. And I will put the stuff here on the video, and the link will be in the description as well about the way the WWE has lost viewers on the WWE Network while the Cruiserweight Classic was going on. I'll put that stuff here in the description because, hey, I like to prove my work. That's how I go things. That's, as Mark Henry would say, that's what I do. Anyway, yeah. And by the way, Neville won the pre-show match. I didn't care. I did not watch it. Again, I want to like Neville, but at the end of the day, they're barely getting crowd reaction. In fact, the best thing about Raw, the most interesting about Raw, the Raw crowd, these smarks and people who love wrestling, love it. You know what they did? They didn't care. When Neville and Mustafa Ali, a wrestler who's really talented but has no character. I don't know what his character is. I don't know who he is. Why should I care about him? I honestly don't know. He makes some interesting tweets, but that's it. Nothing else. Nothing. Anyway, yeah, it is something we are gonna have to get into more and more, and we're gonna get into more and more about how, it's interesting how the WWE universe, all the smarts and stuff, when they get the things out there they want, they chant for a beach ball. Yeah, they actually, while Mustafa Ali and Neville having a pretty decent match, they were talking about beach balls and saying beach ball mania, and I'm like, you guys, you don't deserve this. And Neville and Mustafa Ali did not deserve that either, because they had a pretty decent match. I know they got the crowd back into it, but I'm like I'm upset because those guys, all they're doing is trying to bring the cruiserweight division, which most of those guys wanted, by the way, including myself. I wanted the cruiserweight division. Sure, it hasn't done anything wrong like that, but at the end of the day, I think Mustafa Ali is probably going to be one to dethrone Neville as he keeps getting closer and closer and closer. I think that's going to be the internal storyline, hopefully. But if it is, hopefully he gets a character, because he has nothing else to really, get into. I want to like him, but at the end of the day, again, no character. But I want to like the Cruiserweight division, but it feels so, it's like, where the Divas were. The Divas, like a couple years ago, the women's division on Raw years ago, it's the piss break. And that's what it is. And honestly, I don't know if we should end the Cruiserweight division, but it seems like there needs to be a rehaul. It needs to be refreshed. I don't think they need to get rid of those purple ropes. They need to have to integrate with the roster, the main roster more. Make it feel like they're a part of the show. Stop being no segregation. Yeah, exactly. Like I said with the Cruiserweight, less segregating them and more integration. Integrate them with the main roster. Have them fight in tag team matches. I mean, and quite honestly, what is the meaning of cruiserweights anymore in 2017? Well, you have guys like Shawn Michaels, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, Finn Balor, wrestle in these matches, and wrestle and became successful. In fact, winning the main championship. What is the cruiserweight? What does that mean? What does the cruiserweight mean in 27 in their own division? Should that be? I mean, if that was the case, seeing these guys winning the ultimate prize should mean the cruiserweight division should be as important, right up there with the main roster, with the main event championship. It should be. But as it stands right now, it seems like if the cruiserweight division was gone tomorrow, most people won't miss it. And I understand it takes time to build a cruiserweight division. But until they start building it, they need to start building it up. So hopefully when those purple ropes need to go away, get rid of those purple ropes, have it integrate with the main roster, have people care, get more characters in there. If you want to have Masala, they should really do something positive. That's, at the end of the day, what they should be doing. That's pretty much what I have to say about that. And it is something I'm hopeful in the future. And by the way, the one thing I liked about Finn Balor and who has came back, I love the fact that he and Seth Rollins had those issues, and they pretty much hashed it out. Whoop, done. Woo, who cares about any type of dramatic conflict at all? Let's see what else happened. The Revival came up. I'm not really much of a fan of the Revival. I know they're really good. I should like them. I really should. But I'm like, yes, they're good wrestlers, but I'm like, give me something. I want to, because your 80s tribute, fine. I get that, but it seems like every time I look at them, I'm like, I should like these guys. I should, but they're just, my gosh, they're bland as hell. I mean, they're so bland, and I really hope that if they get traded to Raw or SmackDown with the whole Superstar shakeup, I want them to continue to develop. And they have some character, but I just don't care about them. I want to care about the Revival, but my worst fear when it gets to the main roster is going to be like, wow, these guys are just trying really hard to be like the Brain Busters. But it's, again, if it was the 80s, they'd be like, but people were like, wow, they're the 80s, but it's not the 80s anymore. You need to do so much other stuff. You need to bring in more. And my hope is that, maybe they will bring that X factor with them. But my worry is that once they get to the main roster, like a couple weeks, a month there, they're going to be like, people are just going to get bored. They're not going to be like, say yeah. I'm like, and the crowd's just going to be really indifferent to them. I hope that's not going to happen. Hopefully in the summer they get at least some crowd reaction. Hopefully. If not, people are just going to be like, if they're just bored, it's going to be like what Simon Gotch and the Vaudevillains, when they're going to release one or both of them. So that could happen. Wouldn't be surprised. If they can't connect to the main roster, you know what they do? Go back to NXT or release them. Anyway. Also, Shinsuke Nakamura and Ty Dillinger debuted at SmackDown. Let's see. Yes, they did. Let's see. Who is? Let's see. Yes. Dean Ambrose is still your Intercontinental Champion after a street fight that should have been a Mania. I mean, they were building up to these type of, yet they had a regular match, Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin, that, oh gosh, it's interesting that, it seems that, I'm hopeful that they could do more of this, but it just seems like Dean Ambrose holding that championship, it just like, I want more. That's all I want. I want more for the Intercontinental. I want more for the Intercontinental title. And Baron Corbin could be. I want Baron Corbin versus Luke Harper. That would be just amazing. Be it a single or gimmick match. I think those two would do great. But yeah, I want Baron Corbin to win that title sooner or later. It should have happened at Mania. The match should have been a street fight, and Baron Corbin, that should have happened then, and and so on and so forth. But it didn't. But Baron Corbin won here, so hey, it wasn't for the Intercontinental title, but maybe he's in the running for it. Also, one thing here. Bray Wyatt is honestly the most dumbest wrestler in history. And quite honestly, Bray Wyatt needs to go act. I mean, they did all that little photo stuff, not Photoshop, which I know that so many people has already photoshopped they did a film projector of maggots, worms, all the things are nasty and stuff. And after all that powers, all that weird juju, got RKO'd and won. RKO'd and pinned by Randy Orton. And also I love the fact that Luke Harper and Randy Orton are now teammates and such against, well, oh gosh. Let's see, it wasn't the other member of the Wyatt family. Who was that? The Vintner. Gosh dang it, who was it? No, it wasn't Luke Harper. Let's see. Let's see. Members of the Wyatt family. Let's see. Rowan. Let's see. Eric Rowan. Yes, Eric Rowan. Yeah, he still is there because even though he's been kicked out, put back in, kicked out, put back in, I don't care anymore. Most people don't care about it. Still, Bray needs a loser to beat him. So yeah, being in the Wyatt family is detriment to your career. That's pretty much it. Bray barely wins any feuds that matter. Bray Wyatt doesn't win any feuds that matter, especially during WrestleMania season. He gets built up and then loses at Mania. 0-3. His streak is a reverse on like, oh, I'm scary. Woo, I'm so scary. And then loses to the person who doesn't give two craps about his music, his whole, the new face of fear, and he continues to fail. So basically, fail Wyatt. That's what he is, and that will always be him. It doesn't matter what type of tricks he does. In the end, he's still a loser. Bray Wyatt is a failure. And honestly, I don't see, unless he turns into a manager, there's no salvaging him. He always will be a loser, and that's pretty much it for Bray Wyatt. And with that, well, post WWE stuff, good. For the most part, I really there's some still stuff. Ratings for Raw is down, but here's hoping that they will take the momentum for it and do something good with it. Anyway, we're going to take a small little break, and when we come back, I will be talking about the Persona 5 craziness. Yes, Persona 5 is out, and Atlus is, taking down streamers. Very, very mean, very, taking down live streamers who are doing it, and such, which is an interesting decision on their part. But I will talk about that and more on the Dukect Lounge. We'll be right back right after this. And what song we're going to be playing? We're going to play a little bit of Super Mario RPG Booster. Let's see. Booster Tarantino. And we'll be playing that. And hopefully you will enjoy that here live on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for listening here live on TalkShoe.com. We're right back right after this. Booster Tarantino by DJ Presto from OCRemix.com. back, ladies and gentlemen, here, live on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me. And, Atlus. Oh, boy. Let's see. Atlus. Oh, boy. Well, let's see. First off, I'll take a look at here, the links here. Atlus has come out with a post-launch parameters. Here's the info of they're from Atlus here, supposedly. Here also the link in the description of the note on Persona 5 and streaming. It says, all right. It says. It says yada yada. Big thing of Atlus today. Took us a while, to get to have Persona 5 come out in the West. They put out the hours and souls, yada yada yada. But yet it says, okay, now say okay. Now let's talk Persona 5 streaming and videos. So we don't want the experience to be spoiled for people who haven't played the game. Our fans have waited years for the game to come out, and we want to make sure the experience as a totally new adventure. And he says, read us video and streaming guidelines go. It says, please do not post specific plot points or spoiler stories, and only talk about game in broad strokes. The game deal with dark streams right off the bat. Yes, yada yada. Exactly. It says right here, please don't post any specific points and about spoiling and everything, and talks about everything else. But it says in-game content limit. It says please limit video content through in the game date of 7/7. Okay, and it says you can post additional videos. At least been 90 minutes long. No major story spoilers and such, and yada yada yada. Talk about this. But this being a Japanese title with a single playthrough story, right here, the main part, is a massive Japan. I'm very highly worried about that. Sharing is currently blocked throughout the native PS4 UI. However, if you do plan streaming, video guidelines above apply at expert length. If you started to stream past 7/7, I highly recommend not doing this. You have been warned. You do so at the risk of being issued an ID claim or worse, a channel strike and an account suspension. Wow. Yeah, because doing this to say you want to protect spoilers, that's fine. It's not like the game came out in Japan around 6 months earlier. Has it? Oh, wait, it did. Ha ha. Yep. It came out it actually came out months ago in Japan. September 15th, 2016 in Japan, and now it's out a couple days ago on April 4th, this current year. And it's funny how, again, if I really wanted to spoil myself, I would look up the Japanese playthroughs of Persona 5, or did they just say to block those or things like that, or walkthroughs of them? What are you going to do about, are you going to, block and do that type of stuff, which would be pretty unfair for any Japanese Let's Players or streamers. That sort of thing. And this doesn't really stop, Atlus. This right here does not really help you. Again, I understand you want to stop spoilers, but what if someone is stuck at a main part of the game, they don't know how to do it, and it's past date 7/7. And unless they have a strategy guide, which, if that was the case, that'd be really, really, that'd be really, just very scummy of you to do something like that. To say, oh, if you have this, we can't really work, have someone tell you, via online, no, you have to pay money to go through a walkthrough or something like that. That'd be really scummy. It is, to me, one of the main reasons why this whole new media, and it's not the American branch. As I said, they don't really want to do this, and the way they talked and such, it's mainly the Japanese branch. And honestly, the Japanese branches these games, Sony, Atlus, and Nintendo, especially Nintendo, with their draconian ways of doing these things, they need to fix this stuff out now, or they will be labeled irrelevant in the future. And honestly, you don't want to be in a part of irrelevancy. And this right here proves, this idiotic statement. And you want to stop spoilers, fine. People are gonna, want to have spoilers. Oh my gosh, the spoilers. The gameplay is spoiled and such. Now people are going to, people are going to find out anyway. If you block or do anything else, all you're going to do is give that YouTuber or Twitch streamer more views, more. They're going to report to, they're going to be like, okay, you're going to give me strike me or anything else, I'll post it out somewhere else. There's tons and tons of other live stream places. There's, again, Ustream, Hitbox, there's so many other places, not just YouTube and Twitch. There are many other places that can and obviously will do live streams. Hell, Dailymotion has a live stream option, and so on and so forth. So, again, there are many other places you can do live streams. And right here is, again, this whole backwards notion. This backwards notion with this whole type of trying to say spoilers. At the end of the day, you can't do that. And you can't do that. And it doesn't really affect you. You can't do that this anymore. The spoiling thing is going to happen regardless. If you tell people not to do these things, more often than not, people are going to, and they are going to spoil the game eventually. And you say it's temporary, and you're trying to say what and how long are you going to hold this thing up? You can't share this thing. It's going to be permanent, or is it going to be like how long? What's going to be the date of you saying when spoilers are not going to be the issue? Because there are plenty of games out there, plenty story-driven games. Like I said, what about Tales of Symphonia? Or something like that. Is that going to be someone saying, oh, well, and spoils the game for you there? Like, oh, crap, hey, spoilers, that sort of thing. What's your time? A year? 6 months? We don't know what the timeline to end this type of stuff, too, about this whole non-spoiler ban. Because, again, there was always going to be new people coming into this medium saying, oh, I want to play this game maybe 2 or 3 years later. Are you still going to have the non-sharing thing? Because this person might, or worse, look at something, a review or a live stream, see something like that and see the game for themselves and so on and so forth. They might be interested in looking at not only just in the story, but also the gameplay. They might want to see how that works out for them. So, honestly, when I see this, it hurts Atlus. It really hurts Atlus and the whole people want to see this stuff. And I get what they're saying. I know what they want to do. They want to protect the whole story. But eventually the story's going to get out there. And quite honestly, the live streamers and the Let's Players are the canary in the coal mine for people. They don't want to go and pre-order these games. They want to wait and see what their reaction is and see how the game is so they can try it themselves. They want to say, okay, these guys, they got the game first. Let me see how their playing is. And let's see how this game and story goes. And they like the personality of these live streamers and Let's Players. And honestly, and the more people watch and more seeing this stuff, like, hey, this is fun, I'll go buy the copy of the game. That sort of thing. And that will make more profits and people will be more happier. But then that's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. Really wrong. But hey, it is what it is. You know what? I'm going to end the show with that. Thank you so much for listening. It's been a very fun show, a very interesting show, and I can't wait to see the comment section because I think it's going to be quite a doozy. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. It's Dukect here. Peace, love. I'll see you when I see y'all. Later.